Today guys, we're going to be taking a look at a loadout that was recommended to me by a subscriber. We're going to be taking a look at the PU-21, and a little bit more importantly, it's actually one of the attachments that we're going to use. So apparently if we put the crossbar attachment on this thing, it just becomes an absolute beam machine. We're here on Terminus Island, and not only are we going to take this gun all the way up into the 30s, but we're also going to take on Patient 13 with it and see how it does. With that, welcome back to the channel everybody. If y'all don't know, I'm Ghost. Appreciate everybody that stops by the video today. If you're into zombies content or anything that's Call of Duty, consider rocking the hell out of that like button for me and subscribing to the channel, guys. We just hit 25,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all the crazy love and support. We did have a pretty crazy game here, and this loadout really did surprise me, and I can't wait to get into everything with you guys after a real brief word from today's sponsor. If you guys are looking to unlock any of those mastery camos here in Black Ops 6 Zombies, including Abyss, Nebula, and Dark Matter, be sure to check out Mitch Cactus. They offer the most reliable services for Call of Duty, including bot lobbies, camos, or pre-made accounts. Whatever it is that you may need and just don't have the time to grind out, the Mitch Cactus definitely has you covered, and with all the positive reviews on Trustpilot, you guys should definitely check them out. Be sure to take advantage and use code REALG for 5% off your entire order for a limited time only. Now, I don't know really about you guys, but I've never really been the biggest fan of LMGs here in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Pretty decent with the mag size, but honestly, they kind of lack a little bit of power, and just the heaviness of it really kind of weighs you down, and that's a big con for me. Luckily, we were able to pull the Beam Smasher out the box, so we didn't have to craft it this time around. Especially here on Terminus Island, this is just the hugest time saver. I mean, building the Beam Smasher is like half of the Easter egg. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we placed a C4 down at that double points that was in the biolab, so that way when we shoot the basketball into the basketball hoop here and go to pick up the points, we can activate that double points with our C4. Technically, we could have even doubled this up again if we would have went and got the talisman, but I didn't really feel like doing that. Check out how fast we just absolutely melt through this amalgam, guys. This LMG, I gotta say, was really surprising me. It was just tearing through these zombies. With the crossbar, it actually makes it really easy to hit those critical shots, and the recoil is practically like non-existent. For my first time using the LMGs with the crossbar, I gotta say, I gotta give them 2 thumbs up. I do wish that the strafing speeds were just a little bit faster, but I think that's something that you might be able to find in the game. There might be something in the game that can improve that a little bit. You gotta say, overall, I was pretty impressed with this loadout. Usually, I'm not the biggest fan of running the CHF barrel. I know that that's an attachment that a lot of people tell me that I should be rocking. Honestly, it's not one that I think is bad. It's just that I think that it causes a lot more visual recoil than is really necessary, almost to the point where it actually makes hitting critical shots a lot more difficult. For me, personally, I would rather have a little bit more recoil control and just be able to actually hit those headshots consistently. Some weapons can actually handle this attachment better than others. Like with this PU-21, I felt like I could control the recoil perfectly fine. I mean, especially with this crossbar, but there's certain weapons in this game I feel like it just bounces all over the screen. And yeah, Nathan was not very difficult to take out with this thing. I mean, we handled him in I think just under a minute, which is pretty damn fast. With only having a blue rarity and pack 2, I think that's pretty good. And even up into the 30s, I gotta admit it was taking out zombies pretty well. I was relying on the ray gun that I had a bit here and there, especially to take out a lot of those manglers that I was getting towards like round 30. For the most part, the LMG was actually handling itself pretty well. Now here at Patient 13, this is when I thought the LMG was going to kind of struggle a little bit, but I ended up coming out of this thing kind of surprised. Now after pack-a-punching this thing, you're going to have 250 rounds before you have to reload, so you can shoot for quite a while. Not necessarily as good as, let's say, like the PP919 with its over 300 round drum, but 250 is definitely not bad and way more than most weapons in this game. With that amount of ammo, it was kind of easy to keep a lot of the zombies off of me. I was steadily taking shots at Patient 13 whenever I could. I will fully admit I did still feel just a little bit heavy, which I really don't like. I feel like I could have just been a little bit faster when I was running around, but with just the sheer amount of fire that you're able to lay down, it kind of mitigates that just a little bit. But as you guys can see, I was definitely still running around a lot. Now since we didn't have napalm burst, the first phase on Patient 13 was taking us a little bit longer than usual. But we did have dead wire on, so the second phase actually ended up going by pretty fast. If you guys didn't know, those are his weaknesses for phase 1 and phase 2. For me personally, when I fight Patient 13, I probably do a little bit more training and running around than I really need to. Honestly, it's just kind of what works for me. I really don't like being backed into a corner and having to deal with all of those zombies. And yes, I know by running around the arena, it causes Patient 13 to move around a lot more, and it may drag out your fight a little bit longer. I kind of think that having a little bit longer of a fight is better than taking a chance on going down. Now, speaking of going down, we actually did end up going down once during this match here, and it's really kind of strange how it happened. I ended up getting knocked off of the platform, and my health was really low. I don't know if I ended up touching like a little gas, possibly maybe a zombie was throwing some meat at me just at that exact time. I'm not really sure exactly what happened. I figured I would have been okay, but I still ended up going down. I don't think I touched the outer gas ring. I'm not really quite sure what happened. You guys will see it here in the video in a minute. Maybe you'll see something that I didn't. Now, luckily, we were able to still pull through and finish off this boss fight. We did end up bringing a chopper gunner in here. That's one other thing I can advise you guys if you're coming in here to fight Patient 13. Definitely bring in a chopper gunner for this third phase. It will save you guys just so much hassle and so much time. It's definitely a lifesaver for sure. Also, don't do what I did here. I also made a mistake here in the video is when I used my chopper gunner. If you make sure that you're actually behind something, like if you're behind some of those boxes in the arena, it'll make sure that whenever he does his blast, it won't actually knock you out of the animation of doing your score streak. Definitely had a time or two where I just pulled out my chopper gunner and he ends up blasting me, you know, big pause, but then that'll actually knock me out of the chopper gunner, which just really kind of sucks. I've also kind of been thinking, guys, should I do a video on defeating Patient 13 with every gun in the game? Because I definitely think it's possible. I think there may be a couple guns that I'm definitely going to struggle with. They're, you know, definitely going to have a little bit of a hard time, but I think it is definitely possible. I know I'm not going to end up attempting this with the melee weapons, but I think I can do it with everything else. Let me know down in the comment section if that is a video you guys would like seeing. I'm about to pull out our chopper gunner right now. Now, there is two things that you guys can look for whenever you're in your chopper gunner. Main thing is just be shooting at his blue glowing eyes, and if you don't see those, then he should have that red critical spot on his shoulder like in the first phase. Luckily, his charge shot actually didn't knock me out of my chopper gunner. Thank God I was able to actually get a bunch of this guy's health knocked down. And then also for me personally, I find a little bit more success when I hang out behind him during this third phase. Yes, it is a little bit more difficult to hit him in the eyes when you are running from behind him, but it is still possible. If you end up placing yourself in front of him, you're just gonna have all of those zombies and manglers, and there's even amalgams running around during the third phase. It's just really hectic up there, so it's a lot more peaceful I found behind him. Also, just 3 more days, guys, until we get our huge update and we get our brand new map Citadel Day more, and I cannot be more excited for that. I gotta admit, it does feel really nice that zombies and the zombies community is actually getting some decent love from Treyarch this year. Not even 2 full months into the game's life cycle, and we already got 3, I would say, banger maps. I know some people don't really like Liberty Falls that much, but honestly, I think it's a great map for just camo grinding or getting XP, or even for the newer players that are just wanting to kind of dip their toes into zombies. I think Liberty Falls is excellent for that. I know not everything is sunshine and rainbows, and I am getting also prepared for that little bit of a lull that we're gonna have because everybody at Treyarch and Call of Duty, Activision, they're all gonna be going on their holiday vacations and everything. We probably won't be seeing another update even for small patches or anything until like mid to later January. If there's any bugs or glitches or anything, most likely we're just gonna have to ride it out and wait. It's happened many times before. There it is, guys. We defeated Patient 13 with the PU-21. I gotta say, this loadout was pretty damn good. Would I say that it's one of my absolute favorites? Probably not, but with the crossbow, I will fully admit that it did actually really surprise me. It was actually really fun to use, and if you guys are looking for something decent to rock in this game to get you to either some higher rounds, well, decent to mid rounds, and maybe even take on this boss here, this is definitely a good one to check out. I toss the loadout up on the screen right here, and if you guys have any suggestions for loadouts that you would like me to try, please leave them down in the comments section. With that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. Please drop me a like on it if you guys enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if anybody is new. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.